Hello, and nice to see you again. My name is Joshua, also known as Joshua, if you like to call me Joshua. And today, I feel like talking about and ranting about a topic that I have growingly got more frustrated about. I want to talk about scalping. And I may not be a big platform, but I still have huge feelings about this. Um, I've been following a YouTuber, sorry, not a YouTuber, my bad, a comedian, or a very, very famous Mexican comedian known as Gabriel Iglesias. And he is very mad on Instagram because a certain company has decided to scalp his tickets and sell them 5 to 6 times the amount. I'm not even joking, 5 to 6 times the amount for his 50-year birthday blowout celebration. And, what he originally wanted to do is sell every ticket for $50, so there's no possible chance of his fans getting screwed over by buying a $200 ticket, even though it was only for $50. But what he failed to do, and sorely that is bad for him, is that he decided to not put a ticket limit to purchase, which is also very, very disgusting. And a big company, also known as StubHub, decided, hey, these tickets are $50 a pop. We could get easily rich if we buy these tickets in bulk, and then just then, we decide to jack up the price to $200 to $300. They mass sold and mass buyed a comedian's birthday celebration, all because they wanted money. That's how I justify it. That's how I see it personally. And personally, I am sickened. I am disgusted by how far and how ruthless some of these companies have gotten as of late. As it's not just companies that are doing this, but certain people are doing this. Like when the let's say the Nintendo Switch 2 came out, there were tons of scalpers, right? Tons of scalpers. And a lot of people were sickened because they sold out so fast, so fast, because of these scalpers. And Nintendo's like, what are you gonna do? We wanted the money and we got the money. So we ain't gonna tell you that we have any in stock, because guess what? We don't have any in stock. And a lot of Nintendo fans, and including me, got very sad and very mad. Sure, I probably won't buy a Nintendo Switch 2 because let's be honest here, there's not a lot of exclusives or a lot of good games on there. It's just mostly imports and exports of former Nintendo Switch games. Like literally, that's how I justify it. Sure, Nintendo is somewhat a decent company, but not when it's evolving money. But a big company in the United States, also known as Valve, had somehow figured out a temporal fix to scalping. They decided to put reservations, yes, reservations, for not just the controller, but also the a very expensive console as the Steam machine. But what they failed to do is that sometimes people just get too smart for Gabe Newell, and they decided, hey, they're selling the reservations. They're giving out the reservations. Why not, as scum as we are, decide to take the reservation spot and just sell that, even though that tons of other people had reservation spots. And well, they just sold the spots because people couldn't wait. And it's generally upsetting that people don't have that much patience nowadays to wait for a little bit longer to get a Steam machine or a Steam controller. Sure, I'm not gonna buy a Steam machine, but they say they could justify it because the prices of RAM and all that shebang. has gone up so much. And they're like, okay, we're going to sell you a pre-sized kit. We're going to sell you a size kit that states, hey, yes, we know this is over $1,000. Yes, this might be over $1,300. But this is for pre-made built PCs that you could buy a PC games and Xbox exclusives and PlayStation exclusives on it. We're not saying that this company is generally good with their decision, but the only reason why they made the Steam Machine is because you could have another pre-built PC in the market. Sure, a lot of people were mad, and justifiably so, because we all know it was going to be expensive, but people were kind of mad about their decision. I understand it, but for a business perspective that I'm planning to go into business administration and economics as my minor, I see this as a reasonable price. I'm not saying it's the most justified price in the world. I'm not saying, hey, $1,300, you could cough that up in a month. No, I mean, not joking alone, groceries have went up about over 100% in the past 10 years or so. RAM has went up probably over 1,000% ever since. I'm not, as I'm saying this, I am not a computer expert, so you can fact check me in the comments, but it's just gotten so ridiculously priced. Like, everyone is getting mad, and justifiably so. Like, I'm not saying that it's a good business decision to oversell, but it's not that particularly wrong that a business is trying to protect the consumer, but it's kind of hard to protect the consumer these days because inflation has gone up so much so. But I'm not saying that scalping for reservation spots is not that ethical either. In fact, I think that's very, very harmful to the streamline, because you're selling a spot. Like a spot. Just imagine this. Just imagine you were waiting in line to buy a video game on Black Friday, and seeing these people in tents that have been there for about like a week or so, because, well, of course, some people just don't have that much work time and a lot of free time on their hands. And just imagine them saying, hey, I got these seats a week in advance. How about you pay me some money so I let you go ahead first and I go second? Sure, you're like, yeah, that seems like a good idea. And then they're like, hey, I want $400 for that though. And just imagine $400 or $500 was your budget for Black Friday. So you obviously say no, because that's like most of my budget for Black Friday this year. And they're like, well, sucks to suck. And then they get another sucker to actually pay for $400, even though that they got it for practically nothing. That's what scalping is, and honestly, it's disgusting. I'm not going to justify that, sure, people struggle with money these days, but you have to be wiser with your money. I'm not saying that I'm not a finance expert, I'm not like a banker whatsoever, but one thing stays the same, and it's just that you should not scalp out people. Like, seriously, I heard literally a news article saying that someone went into 401k. If you don't know, that's the American financial system. When you retire, someone literally bought, and I wish I was exaggerating, about like, I need to remember, I need to ask Google real quick. Hey Google, how much people, never mind. I'm getting tongue-tied because I'm honestly getting frustrated. Like, I have seen so many people get scalped over the years, and now it's just became a wide stream issue, like a live, like massive issue. I just need to figure out something. Okay, I have it here. someone went into their 401 account, and it states that someone bought 500 copies of a digital game. Like 500 copies of GTA 6. They went into their 401 account and spent almost $55,000 just to scalp people 2 to 3 times the actual amount of the game. And honestly, that was very stupid, because when they announced that, hey, there's not going to be any discs, it practically just made the situation bad for him. He literally went into, like, I'm not joking, when you put out your 401k before retirement, you lose some of that in taxes. And when you lose that amount of taxes, that could really help you in retirement when you retire and try to live the rest of your life without work. Sometimes the money is very justified. But for a digital game, they bought 500 copies just for particular game codes. And honestly, if you actually buy that, you are a sucker. I'm not going to say that that's rude. But if you subscribe today, I won't think you're a sucker, because I know you're better than that. So subscribe today. Anyways, I just think that scalping is a waste of time and resources for everyone involved. Sure, they spent that much amount of money for a sold out physical game. But what they fail to mention is that you could literally just get it on the PlayStation Store. You could literally get it on the Xbox Store for literally $100. Sure, $100 is a lot of money for a video game, but it's kind of crazy because the investors of 2K actually wanted it higher, because guess what? Their stock price went so down. It went so down. I'm not even exaggerating, because most of the 2K investors, or if you don't know who 2K is the parent company of GTA and Rockstar. And I'm not joking when I say this, when I go on the 2K stock right now. I need a... Okay. Don't show me the AI overview. I just want to see how bad the stock price went down. Come on, guys. Okay, let me show you what happened. In the past month, when they announced GTA 6 to be at $100, the price of the stock was around $240, and it dropped to around $230. That's a $10 decrease. And if you know anything about stocks, that is a major gutting attempt to try to cripple a company. Because sure, it's a small percentage, but that's a small percentage of a stock. And if you don't know what a stock is a small part of a business that they sell to you, and you could have a part share of the company. But $10 seems not like a lot in the spec of things, but $10 for like very tiny pieces, very small pieces. Like, let's think about like 10 trillion. I'm not joking, like 10 trillion. Or let's be more realistic here, 10 million. 10 million. What's 10 times 10 million? $100 million. 100 million. So practically, if they had 10 million stocks shared out today, they would have lost $100 million because they didn't price it higher. So practically, the investors are also trying to make 2K and Rockstar scalp out their player base, because it's such a hyped up game and so many people are trying to buy it already. I'm not saying that you should go out and try to target a company because they want to price it the way you want it. I'm just saying it's disgusting that even investors try to make businesses and companies try to scalp out their users because they feel like they have no other excuse but to try to make them scalp out their users. So the message of today is that if you do try to scalp, if you try to hurt like people's company and try to hurt people with like financial decisions because you want to make money, just think about the consequences of your actions because it can dramatically hurt people and it can truly be unsalvageable because it may work in the small run, but when companies start to figure out how to actually combat this issue, you will be out of a quote-unquote job, even though you probably have never worked one in your entire life. God bless, and thank you for watching this entire video. Like and subscribe. But if you have been here for so long, please comment "Stop scalping," or yeah, "Stop scalping." Swiper no scalping. There you go. Swiper no scalping. Thank you so much for watching this video. God bless, and have a wonderful rest of your day.